Bismillah Rahman Rahim. As-salatu was-salam ala Rasulullah sallallahu. My name is Dr. Tausif Malik. I'm the founder of Halal Angels Network, world's first Halal Angel Network, and All India Muslim Business Startup Network, AMBSN. Firstly, I would like to thank His Excellency, Mr. Mohammad Faisal, who's the Trade Commissioner for Malaysia in India, and also representing Martrade. He introduced me to the HDC board, and I would like to thank the HDC management, the president, Mr. Ramzi Suleiman, for giving me an opportunity to speak at this prestigious conference which is happening right now. The topic of my talk is the role of angel networks in increasing business opportunities in the halal consumer space or the halal market. I live in America, and right now I'm also an Indian, so I also live in India. So the thing which I see in India and America is the startup industry is growing very fast, creating a lot of jobs and expanding rapidly. And I've been a serial entrepreneur for years, and when I was also working, also an entrepreneur. So in 2010, I established the Muslim Spelling Bee competition in America, when I bumped into a research report by JWT and Ogilvy of the Muslim consumer market, and I got very fascinated by that, and I said this is a great opportunity, a great market to get in. And finally I ended up doing a doctorate into the American Muslim consumer market. Fast forward in 2015, I had to come back to India with my mom, and then I decided to start something called All India Muslim Business Startup Network to support the startup ecosystem for Muslim entrepreneurs in India, and also connect them with the Government of India schemes and opportunities globally. And it was a it's a 4-pillar foundation where we do HNI networking events, where the Indian Muslim entrepreneurs as well as the Indian professionals from different fields, irrespective of the religion, they network, and we do business discussions and stuff. The second thing is we also established a minority schools in our state of Maharashtra. We're doing incubation and acceleration centers, where we want to get the poor, underprivileged society to also get a taste of the startup industry, not in technology but also like real-time business, like making Indian bread, or the snacks, or something which is very doable, which is needs a less investment. So we're not giving them loans. We are, we want to get them into partnership. Giving loans is a outdated idea now. Microfinance, I think, is an outdated idea, because you're not part of the system. Once underprivileged or a person who comes from a different society, his business is started, and where professionals get involved into as partners, the scale of business goes so high, and his confidence also goes up that very famous people are part of it. So we told the Muslim schools or the minority schools in India that you don't need to live out of zakat and fitra. Use your infrastructure, where we'll plug in with our contracts, and we'll do acceleration and incubation. So this is actually the first time globally where underprivileged society or schools are also talking about entrepreneurship. And our first POC was supposed to be done in March, but unfortunately because of COVID we had to scale it back because it's done at school. So the proof of concept was making Indian bread, which is chapati, by the parents of the students studying at Tanzim-e-Walid in Urdu Madaris. And this story became so good that Hindustan Times, one of India's premium newspapers, wanted to feature on these ladies. They did a half-page story, and the journalist asked them, how does it feel? So one of the ladies who's going to be part of this project, she says, I never imagined to start my own business. Even if I did, it would be small scale, and I never imagined that it would be a lot of people from successful backgrounds would be my partners, and that was very emotional. So we did this incubation. The third foundation or the pillar of our ecosystem is we wanted to start a venture capital fund, but there's a lot of challenges in venture capital fund because establishment, compliance, and liability. So we were also at the simultaneously studying the angel network, and we knew that there's no angel network ban internationally from America to Australia, which is talking only about halal. And we decided to launch, rather than do venture capital, we wanted to go ahead and do angel network, which is like a matchmaking thing. And the best thing is, generally people started launch at big events, big projects. But I God blessed me with an opportunity. I was massaging my mom's legs, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked about, under the feet of mother is the heaven. So what better way? When I was massaging, I told my mom I'm gonna launch it, and she blessed me in the during Ramadan, and our project has become viral. Now, just a quick take how the startup industry works. Startup industry is either the startups do bootstrap, they don't take anybody's money, they scale their own business. Secondly is they go to angel investors to get funding. Angels can be from their family, friends, or professional angel investors who want to invest. And the other thing is they either go to venture capital. Generally, it might be after some stage, and they want to get investment to scale up the business. That's the three ways you can build your business and startup. Now, when you actually look at the halal space, which is $5 trillion economy, there's not much innovation happening. Yes, there is innovation, but not much is happening. I was listening to last year's lecture, and one of the delegate or the speaker was saying that we need science, because science can tell us how, whether the product is halal or not. So we need technology to differentiate what it is, right? You also need innovation to understand. And the critical component of any business is finance. Unfortunately, majority of Muslim businessmen don't live in a Muslim country, and they don't have access to ethical or halal finance. That becomes a challenge, and that's why good ideas die out, and it becomes a more of a mainstream product, and that's a great thing. So when we were researching for angel networks, and I'm going to share the slide with Mr. Ramzi Suleiman, so maybe when he will put it into my video. When you look at America and Europe, they dominate into VCs, they dominate into angel investors, they dominate into incubation acceleration, they dominate into unicorns. And when you actually look the Muslim countries, that is not even 1/5 or 1/10 or 1/20th of global thing, whether it's unicorns, whether it's a venture capital, whether it's incubation, whether it's acceleration center, whether home to angel investment. So these are the things, fact finding. So just let me throw in some numbers. North America has 500 venture capital companies. They have 270 angel networks. Incubation, they have around 260 plus. Unicorns around 203. How many startups funded? Around 10,000 startups. And then when you look at it, how many investment is around $149 billion. Then you compare, for example, the GCC Middle East, which is a huge area in terms of population, in terms of growth. They have around 300 venture capital companies. Then you have around 40 plus angel networks. Then you have around 300 plus incubation. Then 10 unicorns comes from. The whole point here is when you compare, the halal economy is not producing enough unicorns, and that has to be a target for next year. That halal economy should emerge as a unicorn, and it should be not even if it can be mainstream idea, but it has to be ethically financed. In fact, one of our associates and partners, Delio, technology fintech company, we're using them as for a back-end compliance. Their director Middle East, Rahul Vaish, said, Dr. Malik, the halal is actually ethical. I said, yeah, we have been just, why don't you look at halal as ethical? And I said, yes, I've been telling the media, but then they just want to write it as halal. So there is no unicorns happening. A lot of businesses close down because there's no financing, there's no, role play, there's no mentorship. Again, coming back, why angel networks are more critical than the VCs? Because angel networks is like an angel. He handholds you. He's not only putting the money, but he also gets you the contacts. He also, gives you some information. Because venture capital is run like a corporation. Angel networks, when the angel comes in, they want to do a lot of handholding. and that gives a confidence to new entrepreneurs that there's somebody there to support the back. So that's why if you look at the halal economy right now, we need angel network and angels to support these startups, so we can become we can produce couple of unicorns. Now when unicorns are generated, or when businesses are generated, it's whether halal or non-halal, ethical or in a general businesses, what it does, it generates income for people. Okay, very important. And then when people have income, they create taxes, give back taxes to the government. Businesses give taxes. And in COVID situations, very critical, governments are losing revenue, people are losing their livelihood. So angel networks, and if startups come together and really refocus, what happens is it will create some kind of positiveness, and positiveness leads to business. Now, I was talking to one of the legendary Islamic scholars, a couple of years ago, and he said is, if you have 10 sources of income, 9 sources have to be from tijara. Now, when you use this rule book, and when you also throw in that, Muslims, Islam talks about social enterprise. So if a lot of people get into business, what happens is it becomes like social enterprise. We, at one place, we'll be compliant with the government, we'll be paying taxes. If you have high income in Ramadan, we can pay more zakat and fitra, and it can also create economic vibrancy during those times. So my thing, based on the research with my team and affiliates, we think angel network should be the game changer for the halal economy. Whether we do it or anybody else does it, it doesn't matter. And to propel this, we looked at who are the most affected in the economic crisis. Women get affected, and we thought the best way is to get that positive message around, is to launch Bibi Khatija Razina Tala initiative, where we are inspiring 1001 women from different faiths, different colors, different countries to join our cohort. And when they come together, they start a vibrant ecosystem, they do business with each other, the angels get a piece of action, and hopefully some of them will produce fantastic unicorns or successful businesses through this cohort. And our intention is very positive. We want to host these 1001 women to different countries, where because they're coming from different backgrounds, where we will encourage the governments of different countries to give them red carpet to establish a business. And Bibi Khatija Razina Thala was the first investor in Islam. And there's a hadith, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, when no one believed in me, Bibi Khatija believed in me. So this project is, we have to believe in ourselves now, right? And what better way is to look at Bibi Khatija Razina Tala's inspiration. And so I would like to conclude my talk with this good thing, with Umm al-Mumineen named Bibi Khatija Razina Tala. Again, I would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Muhammad Faisal, Ramzi Suleiman, Mr. Ramzi Suleiman, the HGC management, the chairman, president. I would like to also thank the Malaysian government for doing inspiring work. Malaysia can be the path-breaking hub for startups, because it has proved in the Islamic financial world that Malaysian financial model is now used globally, and we would be very interested, honored to work with different people from different countries and connect with our halal angels now. Wa akhiru da'wana fi hamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalatu wassalamu alaikum Rasulullah.